Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jennifer Doe if you guys don't know me yet, and in today's YouTube video I'll be telling you guys about the 10 healthy habits that I've built over my fitness journey in the past couple years. These 10 habits were definitely not learned like all at once, and I definitely had trial and error in experimenting with what works for me. And also I want to say that these habits do work for me, but they might not necessarily work for you. So test them out and see, and please let me know if they do. I'll be really excited for you guys. And I also want to say that habits are what actually make living a healthy lifestyle sustainable, because once you form it, you can stick to it. So I really hope that you guys try these out, and let's get to it. Hey guys, so I'm here with my notebook that I wrote down the 10 habits in. Funny thing is that I actually had to really sit down and think about these habits, because I realized it was so ingrained into my lifestyle now that I don't even think about it as a habit, but I'm like, thinking back, I'm like, oh, I didn't do this before, I do it now, and I love it. So it's a habit, it's a healthy habit. So I have it all in here. So the first one I will want to talk to you guys about is actually walking. Walking I found to be like so crucial in my lifestyle, especially 2 semesters ago when I was studying abroad in Europe. I realized that like even though I was eating not the most healthy foods, I was eating pasta, pizza, gelato, a lot of gelato, I realized that I wasn't really putting on any like fat. I would say I was definitely losing muscle because I wasn't training as often, but I wasn't really putting on any weight, and that like really surprised me. But I actually thought about it, and I was like, actually on the weekends when we were traveling, we were walking anywhere between like 25 and 30 kilometers. So the reason why walking is so great for you is because it's a form of NEAT, which is a non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So this means that anything that it's not related to sports or exercise that you do during the day that you can add to your lifestyle that helps you burn more calories. So walking is great because, for example, when I'm on campus, I notice that I'm much more lean, or I can like eat more. And the reason is because I actually walk to all my classes, to my apartment, to my boyfriend's apartment, etc. I walk everywhere, and I rarely ever take the bus. First of all, it's because it's not dependable at all, so I don't recommend if you're good at my school. And also because I know that I'm able to add in extra activity in my day by just doing something as simple as walking. So I really recommend for you guys to like track your steps if you have a watch or some sort, or even on your phone. Try to see if you guys can increase your steps and be less sedentary. So no more buses. So the second habit that I wanted to speak to you guys about is actually snacking less. So this habit is actually something that I've gotten to be better at just recently, not like too long ago, because I was a major snacker. I love snacking like here and there, but I realized that with snacking I was never really full. So in the long run, I was actually like, I was probably overeating, because I was eating a lot of smaller snacks throughout the day that were probably higher in calories and added up to being more than what my maintenance needed to be. So what I do now is I basically only have 3 bigger meals in a day, and it actually helped me curb my cravings as well. So I noticed that when I actually sat down to have an actual meal in front of me, I didn't want to have a snack later as much. So please try that out and tell me if it works for you, because it actually really curbed my cravings for most foods. So I thought it was amazing. So let me know if it works for you. I snack a lot less now. That's the second habit. Rewind. Okay, going back to the second habit, actually, I also want to say that I still do think snacking is a fun thing to do here and there. So when I do have snacks, I like to put my snacks into a bowl so I can actually see how much I'm eating. You don't have to like measure it out or anything. You just want to like be able to portion yourself how much of a snack that you want. And because back then I used to just eat it out of the bag, you know, and that can lead down a big rabbit hole of not knowing how much you ate and end up being like the whole, actually you could know how much you ate because it could have been the whole entire box or bag, but because that was me sometimes. But yes, pour your snacks into a bowl or on a plate so that way you can control your portion size. So that's part of habit number 2. Okay, so habit number 3. This habit I've actually been doing for a while now, something that I actually don't even do anymore that often, maybe like once in a while. But the third one is, making it so suspenseful. The third habit is that I do not eat out as often anymore. I probably eat out like maybe once every 2 months or not even sometimes, because I realize that like I don't really crave anything that people have in like restaurants usually anymore, or if I do see something that I want, I actually want to recreate it at home because I love cooking. So I don't eat out anymore, which is great because when you're eating out, yes, food can be very tasty, but another thing is that you don't really know what they're putting inside your food. So that could be the harm and like the disadvantage and cons of eating out. That's something I do. I don't eat out as much anymore. And I realize if I'm like eating pretty clean and healthy, when I do eat out, sometimes my stomach does not feel good the next day. So I try to actually avoid eating out as much as possible now. So the fourth habit that I want to share with you guys is I want you guys to be able to learn how to read food labels correctly and be aware of what you're actually putting inside your body and not fall for like the health claims a lot of these products have, whether it be like saying it's sugar-free, healthy, etc., this, that. For example, a very common like type of food that I noticed that is like overhyped to be healthy, but it's actually probably not, is actually yogurt. If you actually turn around some of these yogurt containers, like the single serving sizes, some of them have about 20 grams of added sugar, which is like absurd. You don't want to have that in a yogurt, something that they claim to be healthy. So please educate yourself in like what works for your body as well, because food labels have so much information and you want to know what works for your gut and what is like doesn't work for your gut as well. So tip number 4, if you take anything out of this video, please learn how to read food labels and know what you're putting inside your body. Tip number 5 that I want to share with you guys is it seems very simple, but I've learned this kind of the hard way throughout my years through the fitness journey and what I've been doing, is that you want to listen to your body. I stress this, and I can't stress this enough, especially being a girl. We have our time of the month, obviously, and during these times, like our hormones fluctuate a lot. So during these times, you know, you get cravings, etc. I would say listen to your body. If you're craving something, have it in moderation though, because you don't want to deprive yourself of something now and then have it like blow up later and then have like a binge in like specific food groups. Always listen to your body. It's very important because your body is actually telling you what you need, and especially if you're in a deficit trying to lose weight, you don't want your body to go into starvation mode, because when your body's in what is considered a starvation mode, it actually might be holding on to fat and not wanting to let it go because it's thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. So it might not be wanting to let go of that fat you're trying to lose. Craving something, it probably means that your body is insufficient somewhere. So that's a very simple tip, I know, but just listen to your body. Tip number 6 for you. I'm holding a notebook, so tip number 6 for you guys. So tip number 6 is what you guys mostly will hear in a lot of videos, but I'm going to say it again because it is very important, is getting insufficient water, especially in the morning. So I'm going to say, like, yes, have water, you need water, but especially in the morning when you first wake up, you want to hydrate yourself, because if you think about it, you're sleeping for 6, 7, 8 hours, and throughout that time your body gets very dehydrated. So you want to replenish your body so that way you can like wake up and feel refreshed again. So I really stress having about 2 cups of water, so like 16 ounces right when you wake up. It really gets me going. I have my 2 cups of water and then I have my coffee, and I'm ready to tackle the day. Tip number 7 that I want to tell you guys about is something that I've learned through experimenting, and like what I realized trial and error, is actually not having large meals right before bed, because I notice that when I do have larger meals that make me really satiated and filled right before I go to sleep, I wake up the next morning feeling super hungry. And I don't know the exact science behind this yet. I'm doing research, but I believe that when you have a very large meal right before bed, your body doesn't have time to digest before you fall asleep. So it's doing a lot of the bulk of the work during your sleep. So when you wake up, you feel a lot more hungry because you took so much energy to digest food while you're sleeping. And what I notice is that if I wake up hungry, I'm going to eat, obviously. So this doesn't really help if you're trying to lean down or be in a deficit, because you might have a larger appetite the next day. So I don't really fall for the claims that like if you eat carbs before bed or if you this, that, like right before bed. It's actually, for me, I believe it's just having any type of large meal that makes your body have to work extra hard during your sleep will make you overeat the next day. Why I avoid having large meals. I do still have like smaller snacks. Sometimes I have Greek yogurt before bed for the casein, or cottage cheese with some fruit, just so that I can like stay filled but like not over satiated to the point that my body has to work so hard. So that is tip number 7. Hello guys, so this is my tip number 8, and it is my eating habit lifestyle now. And I want to stress before I even say what it is that this took me a lot of experimenting and trial and error to figure out what works for best for my body, and that's exactly what I want to stress. This is what works for my body. This might not be what works for you. So I want you guys, encourage you guys to like test out different eating habits, or what people call diets. So what I do is intermittent fasting. I put it in quotations kind of because I don't strictly intermittent fast. I do have my coffee in the morning, which has milk, which milk breaks your fast, but milk doesn't spike my insulin. But I usually do hold off my first meal with like actual food until like usually 1 or 2 p.m. And the reason is because, like I said earlier, throughout college I realized I was getting really sluggish midday, like at around noon, and I noticed because it was after my meal I would feel this way. So my blood sugar would spike, then I would feel really sleepy. So I try to get the bulk majority of my work done, my classes, my lectures done before I have my first meal, so that way I can be awake and like alert during class. That's what I realized with intermittent fasting has helped me. It also has definitely helped me with like when I want to be in a caloric deficit as well. So not only does this like works for me like in my lifestyle, but it also aids in my like diet, because if you have a restricted time window you can probably have less calories, and by creating a caloric deficit is how you lose fat, burn fat, lose weight. And it's all about what calories come in and what calories come out. So there's no magic to any type of diet. It's all about, can you stick to this diet in the long run, and how long can you sustain it? Because you can do any diet for like a month, right? And you can probably see results right away. But the thing is, can you keep doing this? Can you keep eating like a small bowl of salad every day with just chicken? Is that a life you want to live? Those are questions you want to ask yourself when you want to pick out a eating habit lifestyle for you. So this is what works for me. So I encourage you guys to experiment, do trial and error what works for you. The tip number 9 that I want to share with you guys, or healthy habit that I want to share with you guys, is a habit that I'm actually still working on myself, and it's actually getting very restful and quality sleep. This I'm still working on, because I noticed that when I don't sleep well, or I have very restless sleep, the next day I don't feel well, and like this really affects me in my schoolwork, my training, and like even your gains, because you need that good sleep so that your muscles can recover and build. I'm still working on this myself, but I really stress that you guys really get a sufficient amount of sleep so that your body can recover if you're, like for example, if you're training really hard. So I'll update you guys on how, if I find any ways to better my sleep. Sometimes I take melatonin to help me sleep better. I don't do it all the time because I don't want to become dependent on it, but I do that sometimes to get better sleep. So tip number 9, get very, very good sleep. So the last and final tip that I want to stress to you guys is getting in your micronutrients. I know everyone talks about your macros, which are carbs, fats, and proteins, but I really want to stress your micros as well. So this includes like your greens, your vitamins. It's really important that you get these into, because all the minerals and nutrients that you get from your micros, you probably are not getting as much from your macros. So please remember to have like a lot of micronutrients in your meals, so like your veggies. A very simple way I get in a lot of greens is eating spinach. I love spinach. I throw it into everything. For me, it doesn't really taste like much. I know some people stress like the filmy taste when you get in your mouth if you cook your spinach and eat it. I get that feeling as well in my mouth, but I just brush my teeth right after. So yes, spinach is a very good example. Brussels sprouts. There's so many like foods out there for you to get your micronutrients in. So then this includes fruits as well. Remember not to only hit your macros, but also remember to eat a lot of micronutrients as well. And that is my last and final tip for you guys in health habit. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my video today. I hope that these healthy habits are some things that you guys have learned, new things that you guys have learned, and somehow you guys can take some of them and ingrain it into your own lifestyle. Obviously, not everything that works for me will work for you, like I say again, but I hope that some of them might, and if they do, please let me know. I'll be really, really excited. So comment below if they ever work for you, if you ever come back to this video. Let me know which one works, and I hope you guys try it out, and I will see you guys next time.